Once in history, a man destroyed an entire continent's economy by giving gifts. He collapsed cities he never even visited. He caused hunger while trying to do good. He had a fortune so vast that historians still cannot calculate its true size. He was not a tyrant, not a conqueror, not a warlord. He was simply too generous. And that generosity triggered one of the greatest inflation crises in recorded history. In the lands of modern-day Mali, around 1280, an empire was rising. The Mali Empire. It controlled the gold and salt trade routes of West Africa, the backbone of global commerce in its time. At its peak, the Mali Empire produced nearly half of the world's gold supply. And it all flowed through the hands of one man. And from 13 to 12, its ruler was Mansa Musa. Mansa means king. But Musa was no ordinary king. He was a man whose wealth exceeded the combined revenues of every European state of his era. When modern economists attempt to translate his fortune into today's money, estimates range from $400 billion to simply incalculable. The historian al-Dakali wrote of him, "His wealth cannot be reckoned." That is the starting point. The year, 1324. Mansa Musa decided to perform Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca, an obligation for every able Muslim. But this would be no ordinary pilgrimage. 60,000 people, soldiers, servants, scholars, and gold bearers. 12,000 men in gold-embroidered garments, each carrying 2 kilograms of gold. 500 men bearing golden staffs, 80 camels, each loaded with hundreds of kilograms of gold dust. Total estimated gold transported, approximately 18 metric tons. And Mansa Musa planned to give it away, generously, at every stop along the route. Because he was a devout, charitable man, he gave alms. He helped the poor. He spent in the name of God. The problem is simple. No matter how righteous your intentions, the laws of economics do not make exceptions. When the caravan arrived in Cairo, Musa spent 3 months in the city. For 3 months his caravan shopped, donated, and scattered gold across the markets. He gave to mosques. He gave to the poor. He handed gold to strangers in the streets. Now, a simple economic principle. If the supply of goods in an economy is fixed, but the supply of money suddenly surges, what happens? Everyone has more money, but there is no more food, no more cloth, no more copper pots. Sellers raise prices because money is abundant and goods are not. This is precisely what happened in Cairo. Mansa Musa flooded the markets with so much gold that gold itself began to lose value. And as gold lost value, the purchasing power of every ordinary person's savings quietly eroded. Prices climbed, merchants panicked, and the city that had welcomed the richest man in the world began to suffer. The historian al-Makrizi recorded, "Gold fell so low in Egypt that it caused suffering for many years." Now consider this at a human level. You are a Cairo merchant. You have spent a lifetime saving gold. Your retirement, your security, your children's future. Mansa Musa arrives. He dumps sacks of gold into the market. Suddenly, your accumulated savings buy less than they did before. Nobody robbed you. Nobody touched your gold. But your wealth evaporated. Economists call this the inflation tax, a hidden transfer of purchasing power from careful savers to whoever introduced the new money into the system. The Cairo region required approximately 12 years to recover from this single event. 12 years. To repair the damage caused by one man's generosity. And here is the great irony of the story. On the return journey, Musa realized what he had done. So he attempted to fix it. He borrowed money at high interest rates from Arab merchants to buy back the excess gold he had scattered across the markets, hoping to restore its value. The wealthiest man in recorded history went into debt to correct a crisis he had created with his own charity. Some historians consider this one of the earliest recorded attempts at deliberate market intervention in economic history. What does Mansa Musa teach us? Money does not flow in straight lines, even when given away freely. Good intentions can produce terrible outcomes. Generosity at the wrong scale can make others poorer. And even the wealthiest man in history had to submit to the laws of the market. Today, central banks and governments know this lesson well. When you inject money into a system, inflation follows. Every textbook says it. Mansa Musa proved it 700 years ago, without understanding it, simply by being too generous.